Hello everyone, how are you? Welcome to a new video at Beyond the Cloud. Today we are going to discuss about EBS snapshot. An Amazon EC2 snapshot is a point-in-time copy of an Amazon Elastic Block Store or EBS volume. So EBS volumes provide block-level storage for EC2 instances. So EC2 snapshots serve purpose such as data backup, volume migration, creating Amazon machine images or AMIs. They capture the state of an EBS volume, including the operating system, data, and are incremental, storing only changed blocks. So EC2 snapshots are useful for data recovery, migration, and across region, and efficient storage management in AWS. So we will see how can we create a snapshot and recover a lost file from the volume created by the snapshot. So if you are new to this channel, kindly like, share, subscribe, and comment your thoughts. Let me know what you liked and what you didn't like. I will try to make some recommended video from you guys if you have any. So sit tight and enjoy. So first of all, before creating a snapshot of an EBS volume, we have to understand what actually a snapshot is and what is an EBS volume. So a snapshot, by definition, it says that it is a point of time, point in time copy of an EBS volume. So it is a backup of a EBS volume in just point in time. So what is an EBS volume? So EBS volumes, if you are very familiar with EC2 instances, you know that EBS volume are block level storage device that you can attach to EC2 instance, and it can provide the EC2 instance and additional storage. So you have to mount the storage, and then it can provide an additional storage to your EC2 instance, just like an external hard disk. So what it actually does, or what this snapshot is actually does. So an EC2 snapshot actually captures the data of an EBS volume in just point in time. It captures more than that, also not only the data, including the operating system, applications, and any data that stored on the volume at any specific moment. So this is an EBS, this is a snapshot does. So a snapshot actually takes the whole volume backup and takes and keeps it there, and then whenever we need, we can just restore the file from the snapshot back. So this is what it actually does. Then what we can do, we can forward, and we can see that why snapshot it is so much important. So snapshots are a couple of things that I will mention here, that why it is so important. The first one is the data backup. So the one that I was mentioning before, that you can back up your data or EBS volume data, and it is not lost. So in the event of the data lost or corruption, that's what it is saying, that the snapshot can provide the previous states of data. So you don't have to worry about, yes, my data is lost, if you just take a snapshot out of the EBS volume. Then there is also one thing called volume migration. Snapshots can be used to migrate EBS volume in different regions and availability zones. So one thing to remember is that snapshot can be only attached to an EC2 instance in the same availability zone. So if you create one snapshot, or if you create one volume in a different availability zone, and your EC2 instance is in a different availability zone, you will not be able to directly attach it. So AMI are used to create new EC2 instances, and then you can create AMI from an EC2 snapshots as well, enabling to launch the EC2 instance from the same configuration and the data from the original. So what is AMI? If you don't know about the AMI, please take a look into my previous video, then you will understand what is an EC2 AMI and how can we launch it. Then snapshots are also used as an incremental backup. Like EC2 snapshots are incremental. Like if you take a snapshot today, and if you take a snapshot tomorrow, then the change block since the last, then it will be mounted over, or it will be overwritten. So that means it is an incremental backup of your storage device that you use. So this also helps in optimizing space and reducing cost. So this is very much useful. Now going forward is that what we will do here. So we have an EC2 instance. We will mount a new storage to that, and we will create a file to that particular volume. Then we will create a snapshot of that volume, and then we will remove the file from the original storage, And from the snapshot, we will create a volume and then attach it to EC2 instance. And from that volume, we can see that we can recover the file. So the concept is, if you have a volume that is already attached to an EC2 instance, and now you there are a couple of files, or there are a couple of important nodes were there in the EBS volume, and then the files were lost. Somehow it is lost, but you took a snapshot out of this EBS volume. So still you can recover the files from the backup, or the new snapshot, from the snapshots of this EBS volume. You can still back up the files that you needed. So this is the concept, that you can also consider this video as that, how you can backup, how you can take a backup of an EBS volume and restore the file out of it if it is somehow lost. This is very much useful. So I hope you will enjoy this video. So let's go to practical now. Now, I'm into my EC2 console, sorry, AWS Management Console, and we will go to the EC2 console just to find out that if there are any EC2 instances are running or not. So currently I can see there are no instances are running. And let's go to volume first and see that there are currently no volumes in this particular region, and there are no snapshots. What we will do, we will first launch an EC2 instance and attach external volume to it, and then we will create a file to the external volume, and then we will make a snapshot out of it, and then we will remove the important file, then we will attach the then we will create a volume from the snapshot, and then we will restore the file from the newly created volume. So there are a couple of steps. So first of all, we will launch an instance. So let's launch an EC2 instance. So my instance name will be maybe test instance. Yeah. And I will use Amazon Linux 2 operating system. This is fine. And I will not change anything. Keypad I don't need. I will use EC2 instance connect for to connect my EC2 instance. And then I can see here that the root volume is already there. Apart from that, I will not do anything here. I will add a new volume of maybe 4 GB and GP3. This is fine. And then I will not change anything. So I will create the file and I will take the backup of this EBS volume, and then I will launch the instance. So I go to instance and then refresh the page. It is still in pending. So when it will be available, I will come back. Now I see that my instance is currently running. So I will select my instance and I will connect this instance. I will select connect, and I am inside my EC2 instance. So first of all, the command that I will be running is kind of, I have to use the elevated permission, that is the sudo permission. So I will connect with my root user ID, and then there are a couple of there are a couple of commands that I will be using one by one. So please note down the commands, and I will also maybe give this command in the description box so that you can also follow it around. So first of all, I will list the available block device. So to list it, maybe I can increase the font a bit. Let me see. Yeah, I hope this is fine. So the first command is blk. So list my block devices, lsblk, and I can see that this is the one that I have added, right? So we have added a external device. Now what we have to do, so we will create a directory to use as a mount point. But this is not mounted. You see, this is not mounted. So we have to mount it. So we have to create a directory to be used as a mount point. So to create that, we have mkdir -p, and then we have mnt. I will give this directory name as EBS underscore volume. This is fine. So I created a directory out of it. Now I will use one command to create a file system on the attached volume. So without creating the file system, you cannot mount it. It will give you an error. So to create a file system, we have this command called mkfs, then -t, ext4. I will use this ext4 system, and then we will use this /dev/ this is x vdb. You see here this one xvdb. So we have to use this one. So we will create the file system, and you see that the file system creation is done. We can verify the file system creation with one command. It's called file -s dev xbd, it's db. So with this we can see that the file system is there. Now this is fine. Now again I will clear the screen, and then we have another, we have the last command which will mount the volume to the specific mount point. And so we will use this command. So we will use mount xvdb, then we will mount it to mnt slash EBS underscore volume. Now my EBS volume is mounted. Now if I do the same command one more time, we see that this device is now mounted to my mnt slash EBS volume. Now my external device is mounted. Now what we have to do, we have to create an important file. So suppose we have an important file in this EBS volume directory, and then somehow the file gets lost. So what we will do? So suppose in a particular day today, any job has created the file. So we go inside this cd slash mnt slash EBS volume, and then we create a file out of it. So touch. So this is an important file. So I don't know what file it is and what is the content of it. It can be any file. So I have created one txt file, and this txt file is now under this EBS volume. So maybe just suppose one job created this file.txt, and this is very important. And if it is if it gets lost, so maybe our production system might be hampered in a very uh, uh, might be hampered. So what will happen if we don't back up to this? So this is a disastrous situation, maybe, that if you don't back up the file, you cannot recover the file from anywhere. So right now the file is there. So that means our job has been run. Suppose our job has been run and it created the file, and this file has a very vital information. So what we have to do, we can very well take a backup of this file, right? But this is just for one file. What happens when you have a lots of jobs running and lots of files are created in a different folder? So it's not feasible to do backup of individual file. Rather than, I will go ahead and create a snapshot out of the volume. So how to create a snapshot for the volume? Now we have to navigate to the EC2 dashboard, and inside this volume. So this volume, you see here, this one, the first one that we have created for 4 GB, this part, this is the one that we have attached externally, and this is where our file reside, our very important file reside. Now we want to take a backup of this file, of this volume. So what we will do, we will select this volume, the one that we want to take a backup. So if you see, well, one important thing is that if you see the another volume, this is the root volume, and AWS already took one snapshot. You see here, this is a snapshot. So if you go to snapshots, uh, I don't know, this is let's see this one. So you will be able to find it here, public snapshots. But you see the snapshot, let's, so this one, the root volume snapshot, has already been taken. But the one that we have attached externally, the snapshot has not been taken. So we have to take the backup out of it. So we select this volume and go to action, and then create snapshot. And then we can give one description of kind of backup. This is fine. And then we create the snapshot. So creating the snapshot will take some time. So what I will do, I will pause this video, and then when it will be active or available, I will come back. So now I see that my snapshot is ready. So if you go to snapshot and you own by me, and we see that my snapshot status is completed. So this is, my snapshot is ready. Now what we can do, we create a volume out of it. So we go to actions and create volume from snapshots, and then we leave the availability zone. So we have to see what availability zone is my EC2 instance is. So my EC2 instance is in, let's see, my EC2 instance is in US East 1 C zone. So what we have to select, we have to give the same availability zone. So US East 1 C. So this is where the volume will be created. If you don't select the correct availability zone, then while attaching the volume to the EC2 instance, it will not find the instance in the particular availability zone. So those two needs to be in the same availability zone. So I will create the volume. I will not change anything at all here. The 4 GB is fine. Maybe I can select it. Maybe 2 GB. I don't need 4 GB. So, oh, okay, sorry. So we have to, the size of the volume can only be, sorry, we have, so our main volume was 4 GB. So we have to anyway give either 4 GB or above of it. So, but I will not change anything. So 4 GB is fine. So I will create the volume. Now let's see, go to volume. If I go to volume, I will be able to see that 3 volumes are there, and one is recently created, that is not attached. So you see this one is available, but it is not in use. So this is now available. So we have created one volume from the snapshot that we take from this. So this is our initial volume, and this is the snapshot, and this is the one that we created from the snapshot. So this is fine. Now this volume, we will now attach this volume. Now before attaching this volume, what we can do, we know that we have an important file in this particular volume, right? And now we want we see that somehow that file get lost, but this volume, the one that, okay, let me refresh this one. Yeah. So we have this volume wherein the file that was created before, and it is there. And now we have another volume that is created from the snapshot, and that also has the file. So what we can do, we can remove the file in the original volume, supposing that our file got lost. So what we can do, we can just remove this file.txt here. So we remove this file.txt, and it is asking me that, are you sure you want to remove? So I will give yes. Now if you do an ls, you will not be able to see the file.txt. So somehow my file.txt gets lost. Now we have to recover the file.txt from somewhere. But this is where our newly created volume comes into picture. So we have our file.txt here in this newly created volume because we took the snapshot. Now we have to attach the volume to the EC2 instance so that we can recover the file. So to attach it, we have to select this volume first that is available, and click on action, and then attach volume. You see, attach volume. And I will refresh, and we will be able to see that this instance ID, or the instance that is listed here. And the device name, it is fine, dev sdf, this is fine, and I will attach this volume. As soon as I attach this volume, as soon as it will be kind of shown as in use, I will go back to my EC2 console, and now I will give lsb lk again, and I will be able to see that the new volume, this one, has been attached to my EC2 instance. But this is attached. Remember, this is attached, but this is not mounted yet. So we have to mount it. So how do we mount it? So first of all, again, we will create one directory to mount this volume, and the directory creation is kind of under the mnt. So what I will do is I will paste this, and then maybe new underscore volume. So I will use here to mount my newly created mount my device. So to mount it, I hope this will be in the same file system. So to mount it, we have the command, we have done that already, slash dev slash, we have xvdf, and then we will mount it here. And my new volume has been mounted. Now let's give a df, and I see that my dev xvdf is mounted to mnt new volume. This is fine. Now let's clear the screen. Now, we have mounted the new volume. Now, if you remember, we don't have the file.txt in our old volume, right? So we have to recover it. So from where we will recover? We will recover it from the from the one that we have just mounted. So let's verify first if the file is already there or not. So let's go back to our newly created mount point. So then we have this new volume, and let's list the file, and you see, yeah, tada, we have our file.txt here. So we see that after creating a snapshot out of the volume that we had, and then somehow the file got lost, but still, as we created the snapshot, back it up our data, we still have the file.txt in our newly created volume out of the snapshot. So this is very much important. Now what we can do, very easy. What we can do is we can copy this file.txt, that is from mnt slash uh, new volume to slash mnt slash our EBS volume. So this is fine. So we select the file.txt, and this will be in the EBS volume directory. This is fine. Now the copy is also done. Now let's go back to our EBS volume. Mm, cd EBS volume, and let's list the file, and I see that inside the EBS volume now the file.txt exists. That means our problem is solved. So somehow the important file which was deleted earlier, now we back up the file from the volume or the snapshots that we took. So this is very much important thing that I wanted to show you, and how to create a snapshot of an EBS volume, and how to create a backup of a EBS volume, and restore the file from the snapshot, or restore the volume out of the snapshot. This is very much important if you lose important stuff out of it from your EBS volume, and we should take our snapshots incrementally, so that we don't lose important stuffs. So this is what I wanted to show you, and I hope you enjoyed this video. If you like this video, kindly like, share, comment, and subscribe to my channel. Yeah, please let me know in the comment section what else you want to know in this cloud world. So I will be back with another exciting video. Till then, take care. Goodbye.